everybody, and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon, and it's my goddamn birthday, so I'm going to do what I want, and I just play Warhammer with these fantastic people. So let's go around. This will be the cast and crew of Beneath Dark Boughs. We have Jim Davis, our magnificent bastard, with us today in the DMC. Jim, how you doing today, my friend?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing great. Glad to be here on this Friday celebrating your birthday, Will. Just got done with an awesome game of Cypher on the dark side of Mard, and I'm fresh off of gutting a Spider-Man monster with a lightsaber, and so let's play some Warhammer, you guys.
Hell yeah. Great stuff. We have Mr. Jonathan Pruitt with us tonight. Pruitt, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, sir. First off, happy birthday. You don't look a day over 12. I can't wait.
Man.
It's only been a few days since we did this shit, and Alero got to get a gold medal in the to there and back dash, and so I can't wait to see what we get up to today. Let's get to it.
Great stuff. We also have Charlie with us tonight. Charlie, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for facilitating Warhammer twice in a week. I'm about this life. You should just keep having a birthday. I'd be fine with it. I'm super excited to get back into this. We're all pretty injured, but I'm hoping we can bounce back and continue our war against heresy in this godforsaken place.
Absolutely. We also have Alice with us tonight. Alice, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And again, happy birthday. I'm just so happy we're getting to play Warhammer twice in 1 week. So yeah, I just can't wait.
Great stuff. And last and most least, we have Gareth with us tonight, who's crashed my birthday party, apparently. Gareth, how you doing?
I'm really happy to be here today on the most important day of the year, everyone's favourite day, National Donut Day. And, of course, also my favourite cream-filled ring, Will.
It's been waiting years to use that line.
That come out a lot weirder than I wanted it to.
Did it? Well, you never can be sure how it's going to come out. Yeah. As for myself, I'll be playing Matthias Hurst, the vampire hunter, who is on 1 wound at the moment and not feeling too hot. Before we dive into today's game, we're sponsored by Fantasy Grounds and Whaling Games. It's my birthday, so not going to talk about them too much, but go check them out nonetheless. You can follow the show, you can retweet the show, you can donate. I've already had 10 wild magic surges on one character, so why the hell not? Yeah, let's fucking do this. So, Jim, do you want to remind us what happened last week on the show and take us into today's episode?
So last week, hoping to convalesce not even last week, Wednesday of this very week, not even 48 hours ago, the party hoped to recover from some grievous injuries that Rat and Matthias had sustained and hole up in the abandoned castle of Obelheim. And while there, Alero went to deliver a missive to the Markgraf Vigmar von Beerbold, and dropped off the message and promptly forgot everything that had happened for the previous 72 hours, only to barely make it back in time because Yidris and Nora had gone off in search of healing herbs that Ottokar had sent them on a fetch quest. And while on there, they fought a Bestigor beast man who ambushed them in the woods while they were messing with one of its grisly trophies, and then on the way back to Obelheim ran into a bloodletter of corn in the field, taking a grisly trophy itself. And then what happened was another epic battle in the field in which Nora and Yidris were both heavily wounded as well. So now 4 of the 5 party members suffering grievous wounds. Only Alero, our elf, is untouched, unscathed even.
Not emotional.
We find ourselves. This is sort of like the evening of that day, right? So we're going to kind of jump ahead in time a bit. There are some things that we forgot to mention, sort of at the tail end of the encounter with the bloodletter, and that is that left behind a bag, and its hellblade is still here, lying in the pool of blood that it left behind. So you have a chaos weapon and some sort of curious bag But we're going to kind of jump ahead in time a bit as well to see what you guys are doing as night falls. Prepare to settle in.
So I've been given 2d10s of healing from my good friend Mr. Pokey. So
Nice.
I don't know how you want to implement them in this game, Jim. But maybe
Well,
that could be Attilia helping me out or something like that.
Yeah, it could be that. It could. I think even just like Holy Sigmar's light touching Matthias is also appropriate. The herbs that Autocar has been preparing are designed. He informs you that they will put all of you anyone who is heavily wounded. That is to say, you have 3 or fewer wounds. It will put you into a sleep that will last for approximately a day or so, and afterwards you will find your wounds greatly healed and it'll still take a couple of days recovery. It'll greatly speed up the healing process. It's just you're all going to be unconscious for 24 hours.
Okay.
Unless you're...
Mr. Pokey just said, if Sigmar is touching Matthias, I want it to be slightly inappropriate.
All right. Well,
Matthias is more than okay with that.
he's fine. Matthias is fine with that. I'm going to, of course, leave it to your puerile and adolescent imaginations exactly what it is that's going down. I'm curious as to how Nora and Yidris are looking following the fight, because Nora, you find that your wound is especially deep, and until it is healed, you will be at -2 move and -20% dodge, and unless it is magically healed, you might always suffer some kind of permanent injury for it. Attilia can heal it magically. She can heal you for 1 wound, but it's going to take like a long time as she works her prayers and the like on your leg.
Okay.
And then how about Yidris? What are your wounds at?
Yidris is at 1 wound out of 14 left, so she is in the worst shape she's probably been in her life so far.
Probably.
The demon really hit her hard with his sword the first time and followed up pretty hard the second time. Plus we had the beast man on the way in, so she's pretty glad in the end that Matthias kind of came to pull them out, because she wasn't sure she was going to be able to crawl back to the castle. So
so yeah, it sounds like you guys are in need of a significant amount of healing. Sans, like if you were healing on your natural rate, it would take us like 6 or so weeks to finish. Fortunately, you have a ranger skilled in the arts of healing herbs and a priestess who is capable of performing some minor healing magic on you. And at some point, Yidris will be in a position to still assist with the medical procedures once you're kind of back on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So the healing time is going to be greatly reduced. What do we have here?
Well, first of all, it's 2d10 heals for Yidris from Mr. Pokey, and then it's a £50 donation from Laurelania. Birthday. If today's show is interactive, Will discovers he has an evil twin somewhere, possibly trying to kill him, or the good twin if he is evil. I don't know. Birthday. That's awesome. so like Matthias, that totally works as well, because Matthias killed his family, but maybe his brother, who is, I don't know, a mutant, maybe more.
Something, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so
my brother's out there saving mutants, and
he can be at the mutant camp that we keep keeping Matthias away from.
There's a lot of cool ways to take this, and it looks like we've got another.
I have the Helm of Vulgarity, which I believe just curses expletives out a lot of the time from Biohazard. Thank you. It's my hat. It's my witch hunter's hat. It's like adorned. Yeah.
The skull on it.
Yeah.
Just obscenities. The work of chaos is strong in this region. All right.
Maybe whenever anyone mentions a non-Sigmar religion, it goes, fuck corn. Fuck
right.
Fuck all.
Fuck Alfred. It is fury.
It's a main line into Matthias's brain. Unfiltered.
Unfiltered.
Sorry,
That's yes. Okay. Unfiltered Matthias's brain. Vulgar through the filter. The vulgar. So let's see. Let's handle these miraculous healings.
Kind of healing. Is that right?
As well. You're still gonna have to you're still gonna have to go to sleep and the like. But you'll find that your sleep is miraculous. I think so. Yeah. 2d10. You'll find that your sleep is miraculously rejuvenative for the two of you. And just go ahead and roll 2d10 and add it to your wounds.
Nice. I healed for 11.
And 7 for me.
Sweet.
So I'm now at 8 of 14.
I'm
8 of 14. And
12 out of 13. So I'm just 1 wound.
just a scratch. So Gidris is now just lightly wounded. You're on your feet. You have some minor aches and pains, some cuts that if strenuous activity were to take place, they might reopen. But you heal. I think if you use the heal skill on yourself, you heal another D10 a day. So there is that, plus the herbs that Ottokar is preparing, which
now
heal.
Now that I'm lightly wounded, I can do that.
Yeah. So this is kind of like that first day after the fight with the demon. That night passed rather another uneventful night, not as noisy as the one before, but you still heard things out in the woods that second night. No other demons are spotted or anything, but everyone is sort of on edge for the next day, sort of keeping an eye out. So yeah, let's give me an idea of how you pass, how everybody passes that first night.
So I probably speak with Valero to catch up on her. So I approach Alero at some point after I'm feeling a lot better and say, Alero, how was your travel? Did you successfully bring word to the Markgraf?
Yeah, and she's been kind of keeping her distance a little bit since she returned, and now she can't because he's straight up asking her. So after a brief hesitation, I brought the letter, and he is sending some reinforcements. But I don't know how I got there. Matthias, I was in the doorway of the tavern when only moments before, I swear, I was like the night before, we were approaching Obelheim, and I had seen that masked man at the woods. It was one moment following another. I don't know what happened to that time in my mind.
There's strange magic about in these lands. Perhaps the agents of chaos work against you. Try to deceive you to not bring word to the Markgraf, but as long as you did, then
yes,
as well.
I was looking down, and in my hand was a letter with your seal, and I knew that it must be important. So I delivered it. He lets me read it, and that's why I immediately turned and returned. Sadly, Sophia did not make it. I pressed her too hard. I only wish I could have returned sooner to help you with that great beast.
I
am sorry.
I am sad to hear about Sophia. She was a fine servant of Sigmar.
Yes, she was.
It seems as though the omen of gloaming is indeed true. But I was wrong. Do not believe in it. Deception and duplicity have stalked our trail ever since we came here.
Yes.
You did well to bring us word, and I'm glad that you made it back safely.
Me too, Matthias. And she'll delicately kind of hazard to put her hand like kind of at his elbow. And I am glad that you have seen this for what it is. These masks, these deceptions, they must be torn off, they must be destroyed and brought into Sigmar's light.
You have shown me the way.
My mask aside.
You have shown me the way of Sigmar. Thank you, friend.
And thank you.
We should check on the others. Nora and Idris were badly injured.
Yes, they looked quite frightful when I returned. Especially Idris. I do not know how she survived such things.
stalk off towards where their like healing chambers are.
Yeah, I think right now you would find Nora in pretty rough shape. Ottilia is working to keep her leg from in use, basically. And Nora is dealing with that pain, however she would, because it is medieval surgery here, coupled with healing magic, is basically what she's attempting. So that's how you would find Nora.
I think
Nora.
Nora would be like biting down on a piece of wood or just something for the pain. Like she's not really talking at all, and literally just wincing. But it's obviously a very painful wince, but she doesn't want to show it at the same time.
Nora, are you okay? Ottilia here looks like she's doing some fine work.
She sort of looks up at Matthias, like it starts off as quite a sarcastic look, but then realizes who she's looking at. She's like, sort of takes the boot and she's like, I'm sure it will be fine in time. And then sort of like, and quickly puts like the stick back in her mouth to make sure she doesn't bite her tongue off or anything.
Catalyst of the wild magic search for a Nah, Matthias. So close. I'll roll this up here. But Matthias will nod sternly. It doesn't look like Nora can speak too much right now because of the piece of wood and the pain. So he'll just kind of nod grimly, say a prayer to Sigmar over her, and walk off to find.
She's sort of like hitting the wall every time a sort of movement is done. The only way she can deal with it is hit as hard as she can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go and find Yidris and probably Rat as well.
Okay. Where do we find Yidris and Rat?
I imagine Yidris, as soon as she's kind of patched up for the most part, she's kind of found somewhere to sit and is just processing that what happened. It had all been going so well. We went to the woods, we found the herbs, there was a beastman, that was kind of shitty, and then suddenly walking back, and then she's in the field, and there's a red demon right there, taking apart this hideous, ritual construct, and the way it turned towards the castle is just like stuff of her literal nightmares, and she just kind of relives that, and seeing Matthias come in, she's like, where's Nora? How's Nora?
By the way, my wild magic is that rope is twice as strong while I use it. So I've got super strong rope. Witch hunter rope.
Ominous. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm tying up witches and shit. I'll walk into the room and Nora is coping. It is still have to see whether or not she will survive, but I think she will. She's conscious, and Ottilia is seeing to her.
The creature, what was that?
It was a bloodletter of corn, an abomination, a demon. You are brave, perhaps foolish, to stand against it without us.
She kind of looks slightly like, yeah, no. The creature's sword, what happened to it?
Did it disintegrate when it died, Jim? I don't remember.
No, that's one of the things that I think I skipped over last time. The bloodletter disintegrated into a pool of blood, and in that pool was the brass greatsword, the Hellblade.
The Hellblade is still there. It cleaves through armor, but it is foul, something that we should destroy.
Yes, I would hate to see it wielded against us again. I've never seen a weapon like it.
Let us hope that we do not again, but if there is one of them, then there are more.
Matthias, this place is so consumed. I had not thought that the chaos and corruption could be like this.
It is certainly a challenge unlike any other that we have faced before. Such rampant and raw chaos in these lands cannot be abided. It is good the Markgraf has had word. Send reinforcements. The road wardens will be on their way.
And how do you heal?
Well, Sigmar has granted me his strength. I feel better already. You see he's like walking on his leg, putting weight on it again.
That is good. Attilia's, and I forget what the other guy's name is. Their skills are Otakar, thank you. Their skills are strong.
Nods.
We are lucky to have them as allies.
Right. But you, Yidris, are strong as well. You stood and fought against that thing. Did not flee. Why?
There was no other choice. I had hoped I could lead it away, but it was faster and stronger than I had expected. And then you came charging from the castle. And she just kind of goes quiet. She doesn't want to put into words why that had just basically meant that she had to stay and stand where she was.
Well, you and Nora both fought bravely. I will be commending both of you to the Witch Hunter General for your fierce stand against a demon. Few can say that they have lived to see, let alone fight and destroy such a creature.
What are we to do now, Matthias?
We regroup. We wait for the Markgraf to send his troops. Wait for the road wardens to send theirs. And then we march against them. Or wait until they march against us. I still think that Barvold Keep is the best place to haul up. Such creatures, their animosity is untamed. They will come for us sooner or later. It may be the case that we have to let villages and towns burn before they reach us.
At some point that evening, the men that Markgraf Vigmar was sent after Alero alerted them arrive. They arrived there after nightfall. And so, for the most part, they don't seem to be, in any great hurry, but, you just notice their torches from the castle where you're at.
Oh, and by the way, Jim, Alero would have gone out and taken care of Sophia's body.
Okay.
You said it was only about a mile out, right?
Yeah, it's only about a mile out.
Yeah. She would snag one of the horses in a like a jar, like a bottle of oil or whatever, and go out to burn her, so that she may be properly free.
All right. Yeah, Alero finds her where she was left, untouched. Apparently, nothing's tried to eat her or anything.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll go and recover my gear that was on her and saddle and everything, and then take care of her and say a quick prayer, and then head back. Okay.
And that was that. Nora's recovering. We'll kind of like the Markgraf's men as they arrive that night. This is shortly after Matthias and Yidris are having their discussion. One of them does eventually make his way to the castle, but it looks like a lot of them are just surveying the extent of the damage done by the Beastman attack.
So Rat would have been looking after this. Was it a woman that transformed from a bear to a wolf to a human?
Correct. Yes.
I'm guessing
a bear to human.
Yeah. So at some point, I'm guessing Rat would have been kind of keeping her in a room out the way because he knew lots of things were going on. But I'm assuming some point she would want to see Matthias, or Matthias would want to see her.
Yeah, and in fact, that immediately after the battle, she sort of follows you towards the gates of Obelheim after Matthias and Shoyerman had taken Yggdrasil inside. And she simply tells Rat, I don't step foot inside buildings if I can help it. If you need me, burn a sagebrush and I will come. And
Rat nods, pretending to know exactly what she's... Okay, that makes sense. But Matthias will do that when he needs you.
And she and her 3 wolves start to walk away.
Thank you for your help. You probably won't hear it from the others, but I think you made it just in time.
She turns back. I hope so. I wish I had been here sooner. Something cloaks this land in a great concealing magic. It makes it difficult to discern what is happening. But tell your witch hunter that I am no threat. When he wishes to speak with me, burn the sagebrush, and I will find you.
Thank you again. And he'll walk back into the castle.
Mm-hmm. You see the 3 wolves split up and look. They head into different parts of the forest, and she heads south. They all kind of fan out east, and she goes south. That's the last time Rat sees them. So here we are. Sorry, Rat. I didn't mean to skip you there. We're night. There's one of the Markgraf's men is approaching the castle. The other 9 of them look like they're spread out through the village, and you guys are doing it as whatever you're doing that first evening after the attack.
Yeah, I will. I've sent off a letter to Hex and Jaeger and checked in on everyone that we're okay. Does Shoyman want his Hockland pistol back, in which case Matthias would return it to him?
He looks at you, and he sort of looks up from his whatever it is he's doing at the time. His cane resting against the table, and I am too old for this fight, I think. I still have ways to defend myself, but you might need that more than I, young witch hunter.
And,
like stares at you with a milky eye.
For your service and your gift will be put to good use, fear not. You say that it'll take your men a week to gather?
We're talking about the road wardens now?
Yeah, to Shoyman, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. A week, yes. Shouldn't take Aldo long to ride there, but gathering them will take some time, and they will wish to come well prepared. So we should expect them in at least a week.
Very well, then we shall hold up here for at least a time longer and then march with them.
Okay.
That's pretty much all I want to do, is make sure everyone's alive and well, and go to sleep.
Yeah. Sleep comes and passes over you. The night passes with a few sounds coming from the woods, and you are safe enough right now in this abandoned castle. You've had a couple of days now, those of you who've mostly been resting and not engaged in any of the action, and it's mostly stocked. It looks like whoever left here left in a hurry. Many of the bedrooms upstairs still have like the heaviest furniture that would be in them. The Great Hall still has its table and a few chairs. Some of the more long-term provisions are even still in the larder down in the cellar. So it's whoever left here left it partially inhabitable. You've made yourselves at home. You're in the morning when you wake. Ottilia, sort of as she's making her morning rounds to sort of check on everyone, mentions that the Markgraf's man, his name is Volkmar, he wishes to speak with you as soon as you're able. They have made camp down at the inn, the Hog and Sow. And she just sort of informs you of that. So as you wake, here is everyone's current... Matthias and Yidris are at their totals that they're at right now. Rat, you are at 9 of 11 wounds. And this is after that day of you sleeping and sort of resting it off. And Nora is at 5 of 18. And you have full use of your leg. No permanent injury, although a nasty scar on the back of your leg. So from here on out, you get D10 every time Yidris or one of the others uses the healing skill on you to represent sort of first aid, and you can drink one of Ottokar's draughts that he made for 4 wounds if you're lightly wounded, which you both are.
So can she like drink that now and I'll do that then.
So that'll bring you up to 9 of 18.
Mm-hmm.
And drinking one of those would heal Rat to full, yes?
Yeah, I think Rat will take it, but he won't drink it. He'll just kind of keep it with him. And kind of stick it in his bag so he's just got something, because he's more worried about other people at the moment. He's feeling a lot better. Could I have spent my fate point now, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. So yeah, Rat has spent a fate point to avoid the severe penalties that come from having only one eye. So you all find yourselves, if not completely healthy, on the mend, and Ottilia's magic and the tender cares of the rest of the healers in the party mean that you are on your way, and certainly by the time the road wardens arrive, you should all be in tip-top shape. Let's kind of blur time here for a minute and assume that you have most of the week without major incident that will happen. So I hear Alero.
So at some point, like that day even, Alero, just want to go ahead and get this out of the way, would have gone to do some like practice with her bow.
And seen what it does and how it works.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would assume you pull an arrow out to shoot at the target, and then what? The arrow explodes in her face, like.
Yeah, I think that was how it was worked. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Well, if it's any normal piece of arrow, it like incinerates in fire or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Yeah, it's just like gotta pluck the string a little bit, and by itself, also.
I mean, as you pluck it, your draw fingers come away bloody. Like like you're pulling on, say, piano wire or something like that. Like really fine wire.
Look at that. Like, does the bow look any different?
The runes along it seemed to have deepened, become more real.
Yeah. So she'll go ahead and like take the string and like pull it back, like without an arrow in it.
An arrow forms along the length of the bow from your drawing out from your draw fingers to the bow itself.
And then she'll just like whip up and shoot that into the head of the target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a fully formed arrow, but as you've come back, your fingers are they've soaked through your glove that you wear, right? Your archer's glove.
Interesting. And then she'll go and ponder what that means.
Okay.
I go and burn the Hellblade at some point as well, or holy water. However, I can destroy this thing. That would be done sometime in the week.
So that raises some questions. How do you get it out of the puddle of blood? This question.
Burn the blood.
Does anyone touch it? Is what I'm really curious about.
No, I think Matthias would. This is a biohazard zone. We burn it. We holy water it. We say prayers to Sigmar until it explodes or melts away.
Mm-hmm. Inquisitor Altamon knows some minor prayers that will help with this. You're not sure that you can destroy this thing. and without academic knowledge, demonology, it's really hard to tell. But every one of your attempts to like destroy it is unsuccessful. Dousing it with holy water seems to at least like bring you a sense of peace about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll do that for now, and then it's on my list when all of this blows over to go back there and get it. But right now, priorities.
Yeah.
Can we move it into the castle? Not just leave it in the middle of the field?
I think that's Matthias would probably. I mean, would I know what would happen if someone were to touch this? I mean, this is a scary looking artifact.
I think if Idris could walk that far, she would have gone with Matthias to go and check on the blade because it was a concern of hers. So she's there.
You're not especially sure. Altamon warns that weapons like that, like, they stay for a reason, and they have a. Like, just being around the weapon makes you anxious and nervous, like being around a loaded gun. And so, Altamon is like, it wants to be used. Anyone who touches it, it might try to influence to keep it here, to wield it. Work of chaos is foul.
Moving it
Will it
would
not
be
just
dangerous.
call out to anyone? It finds it
Might
weak.
call out. It might call out to one of the beastmen. They would wield it against you. Or it might call out to one of your slayers in the basement. And their grief might take it up.
We take it to
Or
the
one of
castle.
you.
Yes, I fear that it could influence our own. I would rather have a beastman wield it against us than one of the slayers.
We could bury it. At least it would delay, perhaps dampen its cools.
Yes, let us cover it for now.
Obscure it the way the gloaming obscures so much here.
Yeah, so I think we just
Alright.
sort of like pile a bunch of shit over it.
Okay.
With a trench, put it in it.
All right. Bury the Hellblade. All right. So that takes the better part of an afternoon. At that point, do you guys go and visit the Markgraf's men that are staying at the inn at the moment?
Yeah, I'd gather the party to go and speak with them.
Mm-hmm. They have taken over the inn, which is really kind of. So I can pull it up on the Opelheim map. Yes, with all the dead bodies still there. So the Hog and Sow Inn is actually kind of a cluster of buildings around a central courtyard that has a space for a carriage to sort of draw up. One of those buildings looks like the private residence of the former owners. The rest of them are all storehouses, stables, a carriage barn, and of course the tap room itself where the Markgraf's men are staying. You find that they've kind of just taken over the place, stabled their horses there. It's one of the few buildings that's not like severely damaged by the fire. And the man outside in sort of half plate and chain armor, just the look of a mercenary or some sort of lifelong soldier, scarred, grizzled, grim, is sort of keeping a watch out, and as he sees you approach, hails you and waves you over.
I'll go up to him.
Okay.
And,
Is everybody's there for this, or just Matthias?
Yeah, Valera will be there also.
Okay.
I think Nora would have made herself go.
Okay. Yeah, you're all at your new wound levels at this point. Yeah, he comes in. You guys recognize him. He was with the Markgraf's party when y'all were in Badao a couple of days ago. And Alero recognized him as the one that the Markgraf referred to as his sergeant at arms. And so he introduces himself as Volker Lichtwark. His greetings, witch hunter. Didn't wish to disturb your slumber last night. Hope that you would see me this morning.
Yes, well, we're all feeling a lot better now, thank you, and I'm eager to hear your report. And I have the attitude as if he should be,
yeah, and his attitude is, he kind of, there's an uncomfortable silence for a minute as he waits. And then, well, our Markgraf is grieved to learn that such a vicious attack occurred on our hunt, and laments the fact that we were not here to help resist the Beastmen. Surely if we had, Obelheim would still stand.
Yes, it is a great shame that you are away, not defending your own lands, leaving the job to us. Now, where is the Markgraf?
Markgraf retires to Beerwold to raise his banner.
Very good.
And he looks around, and his men are just now kind of getting up and coming around. And they're all of them, they all look like, Bronn from Game of Thrones type. They're all just sort of grim-faced killers and cutthroats that have been granted a bit of legitimacy from a tabard. And they, they're going about their morning duties. Volker continues. The Markgraf bids that I secure Obelheim and make sure that the surrounding woods are free of any threat. I trust that I have your assistance in the matter.
Of course. Idris and Nora here ran into a beastman the other day, along with a demon. We will need our assistance.
Demon. And he looks at you, not incredulously, but just like, for serious? Like,
yeah, it's not. We buried the Hellblade only earlier today.
See. Well, I did not know that there were demons about. And he, with that, you will forgive me, witch hunter. I have my duties here, which require that I cannot stay and talk long. And he sort of stumbles over his pleasantries at you. You can expect the Markgraf the next 2 days. Yes?
Idris literally looks this guy from head to foot with utter disgust. This guy is a piece of crap at his job and is just completely missing all of the shit going on around him. And she's two seconds away from just smashing his face into the table to just get him out of the way. But she's just simmering.
You said that the Markgraf rides for Obelheim.
The Markgraf rides for Obelheim, yes.
What are the defenses like at Barvold Keep? Are they stronger than Obelheim's?
He looks towards the abandoned castle. Beerwold is built in the traditional style here. Timber fort, but well secured, bigger than the von Obelheim castle.
It does not make sense to me for us to gather at Obelheim. I think the Markgraf should secure his troops at Beerwold, and we will join him there. They have already moved out of these lands. They do not seek to crush Obelheim again. They have already won that battle. They wish to take over the rest of your lands. Pillage and burn the rest of your villages. If we stand here, we watch as the rest of your county burns. We meet at Beerwold, then they will come to us.
Go ahead and give me a charm. That if you're trying to persuade, now if you kind of emphasize a bit more of the threat, if you want to intimidate.
Yeah, I
than
think
anyone
it
else.
is a bit more of an intimidation with us here.
Mhm.
I feel like
I think maybe so
Idris
as
would
well.
lean across to Matthias and like whisper, perhaps he would rather have the attention drawn away from his home. He'd have very little intention of joining in the fight.
Curious indeed that the Markgraf would watch his lands burn. Only a heretic would wish such a fate. And, strong look towards
And he just, Volker is just like, you know.
So what does my talent frighten?
So
give
that
me?
that makes your appearance cause fear, which means that anyone looking at you when you like, I guess, invoke it or wish it has to make a willpower test or be sort of frozen in fear. They get a retest every round.
Let's do that. Let's just frighten him for at least a couple of seconds.
Make him
As
blink.
As I say that, yeah, and just gonna stare him down.
Okay. Here we go. Keeps his cool.
All right, I'll try and intimidate him.
But he gives it a long. You can tell he's giving it a think, and Volker meets Matthias's gaze and holds it, but he's not a stupid man. You can tell. He couldn't have survived as long as he had. I think between Yidris and his Volker's predisposition that you would get this could be a very easy test to convince him to leave. So that's a +30 to your intimidate.
We're under 64, and that's a 001.
Wow. So Volker looks about. We'll make a patrol of the area and then head north back to Bearwold. We'll take the route through Horno just to make sure it is not threatened. And he just gives Matthias one last look before turning and shouting at his men to pack it up, ready the horses, ride for Horno.
Give him a long look as he goes.
Mm-hmm.
And
it takes him about 30 minutes to get ready.
Yeah,
Matthias just stay there the entire time.
No, as they're going, if we can have a team huddle as they're packing up, moving their equipment out and stuff. Say, the tactical acumen of the Markgraf and his men seem somewhat limited. At best, they are fools. At worst, they are working against us. I do not trust that Volker, and my faith in the Markgraf wanes.
Matthias,
How can a man-
I would just counsel that let them see the threat for what it is, and I'm sure that they will actually take it seriously. I would not have believed this to be this terrible.
They have seen the burned village. Their dead people. They have the seal of a witch hunter, and yet still they do not believe. Either this omen of the gloaming is stronger than I can fathom, or there is something else at hand.
Perhaps they do wear masks as well.
How else could a man that enjoys the hunt of goblins have missed the great infestation of his own lands?
He sees only what he wants to see. He refuses to believe that there are people in his lands who could be heretics and worse. This man is accountable as much as anyone else.
Yes, and actually, at the mention of goblins, like Alero will remember from leaving the village at Boughs and what they were doing to the goblins there. Yes, he does like to torture them. Easy game, just to have a trophy.
Calls himself a hero and yet does not fight the battles that matter.
He is a weak man.
Right. He will be held accountable when all of this is done. But for now, we need him. And his troops follow him. For now. I really want to get to Barbon Keep and have a conversation with him.
Right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes, let us get his men there in one piece.
Right.
Yeah, it takes about 30 minutes for them to mount up, and they leave out of the south gate, and you can see them patrol like the edge of the forest line and go like south all the way down the forest line up to the road leading northeast to Horno.
Are we not going with them? Like right now?
I didn't think so. I thought y'all were still staying, waiting for the road wardens.
A little between whether or not to go with them and just speak with the Markgraf, or whether or not we want to wait for the road wardens, because they are meant to be coming to Obelheim, right? The road wardens.
Yeah.
And where are they coming from?
They're coming from the south. So there you see that road that runs north to south along the western edge of the map. They'll be coming from just off map.
We could leave word with the witch hunter that's still here.
Yeah.
As the guys are riding off, can I just give a... You could have stopped this. This could have been stopped a long time ago. Just as they're riding off, to leave them with that as they're riding away, looking at the destruction behind them.
Volker looks down at Rat and hawks a big loogie at Rat's feet.
Alero is holding her bow with an arrow pulled and drawn, like as soon as it like hits the ground in front of Rat's feet, but she's not loosing it.
I'd say Nora takes a step forward and just not stands in front of Rat, but sort of slightly further forward and just stares this guy out, almost hoping that he does the same to her.
Matthias is off somewhere, he like senses something and just like looks at him.
And then as soon as the spit lands, kind of Rat will just have one glance at Sigma and Matthias and say, Sigma will... Yeah, that is a Freudian. Sigma will judge you one way or another.
Damn straight. Yeah, they leave staring daggers at Rat and make their circuit of the perimeter of the fields before heading northeast to Horno.
Yeah, when the last one of them finally quits turning back to look, that's when Alero will like lower the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all like turning back, looking at each other for like half an hour.
I feel like Yidris makes a note in her book, and she's literally marked that man. If she gets a shot of interrogating him, he's gonna have a bad time.
Volker.
Gonna bring us a good thumb screws.
Were he upon the rack, he would speak.
He would. Put him to the question.
He wouldn't speak, he would sing.
Roast his feet. So, like I said, you got another several days before the witch hunters arrive, before the road wardens arrive. Anything else you do while here? There was some discussion I thought a minute ago about maybe following on to Horno or not.
Yeah, I think if it's a few days, I'd rather not have them cut off from the rest of us, and I think Matthias would like to arrive in force rather than to arrive with just the group of us and being against the soldiers who, like, at this point, we don't trust them at all. As far as we can about their loyalty seems clearly to be to the Markgraf and not to, us, to Sigma. So Matthias would cancel as they're leaving. I think it best that we stay and wait for the road wardens. Roman is someone that I trust far more than the Markgraf. I would like to arrive with troops at our back. We may be able to swear them in as holy warriors of Sigma.
That is wise.
And that's a wild magic surge for Alero from Biohazard.
Because
All right,
3121. But we did the whole thing with the blood, and it creates arrows.
It creates arrows.
Yeah. I don't think it was forgotten.
In kind of the downtime, can Rat kind of just poke around town? I'm not expected to find much, and just maybe around this little girl and how long she'd been around, maybe her property, and just see if there was any sign of any chaotic activity, and see whether they harbored this.
I'm sorry, Rat. I was catching up on something. Your Rat has a mission.
Yeah, just kind of look around town, poke around where maybe this girl's house was, and see if there's any sign of chaotic or witchcraft.
You're looking for further evidence from the girl from the other day. Yeah, her house is like a peasant hovel, right? You don't find anything particularly suspicious or like there. It seems a fairly normal house for the most part.
Rat will just take like a small token of her, maybe like a little child's toy or something like that, and just put it in his pocket because he still doesn't feel great.
Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of those.
The next enemy that Alero wounds actually becomes an ally for the next 1d6 rounds. So one of them.
Nice.
That's one of the only positive ones I've ever gotten.
So as the day passes, you sort of, I guess, hunker down in the castle there at Obelheim and await the reinforcements of the road wardens. For every, if you sleep a night, you get a wound back. And then you are able to use your skills and the like the next day to further restore everyone else's wounds. So I guess that brings up Matthias to full. And everyone else gets one, and then if they have they get a D10 from Yidris, Yidris, Attilia, or Ottokar, helping them with their first aid.
Yeah, Yidris would help Nora for sure.
Okay. Well, then you can make a skill check, and if you pass, 10.
Skills. Oh yeah, it's a special one. I got it.
Uh-huh.
That's not good.
Now, if you just have all day. the morning one is almost a botch.
She makes it slightly worse.
They get an infection.
There we go.
There we go.
Saves the day. All right, so you have 3 extra. Rat, you have 10 of 11. And then you're just at 9 of 14 for any of the other rolls. So, yeah, you have another day, mostly to yourself. The place around here, the forest and the sort of wildlife that was here a few days ago, it's never returned. And stepping outside and being outside, particularly near the woods, is quiet. It's just the rustle of the wind through the leaves of the trees. There's no birds that sing, no critters that come about. And this place, you guys are like 3 days out from the attack, just feels isolated and alone.
There's a lot of dreary walking along battlements, looking out into the forest, talks of doom, waiting for legal road wardens to arrive, and getting the Slayers ready, I think.
Yeah, the Slayers are mostly, they have, let's see, by now all 4 of them are in fighting shape, and they have taken their lumber, their logger implements, and just turned them all into the most, like they've made a tree saw pole arm, and they're wielding like great big mattocks that are used to split trees into logs and things like that. And they have fully dyed themselves and the short hair on their heads wild colors and spiraling patterns and ancient dwarven runes they've painted on themselves. And now that they've all healed up, they are, they're like, which way do we go next? We have to avenge our brothers.
Yep. Sorry, did you say how many Slayers are there?
There's 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we wait until reinforcements arrive, then head eastwards to Horno and through Boughs.
Head east then. Did you find our brothers out there amongst the dead?
I don't remember. Presumably, I did.
I don't know that anybody went and specifically looked around the dead or anything.
No, I don't think anybody has.
Okay.
May have been.
By now, most
Might
of
be-
them are.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, if we're gonna be here for a few days, it might be a good idea if we like police these bodies at least in front of the castle.
Yeah.
So Slara might
So
have started doing that.
for the first day and a half, you have to clear out the animals that are eating them, and some of the animals that are there have clearly gorged themselves to the point of injury. The dogs and the cats all have these distended bellies, and the birds don't even. Some of them are falling over. They seemed to have, like I said, eaten themselves to death on the corpses of the offerings and the like that were out here. Amongst the bodies that are in Obelheim, you find no dwarves. There should have been 3.
Well, I will tell that to the Slayers with great sadness.
But yeah, they're not happy about that. And Zalgeg is sort of like they're ready to head off into the woods to the east. We can track them from our camp. Surely they attacked us there first.
Very well. Matthias knows there's no chance in holding these guys back. They're like doom bound, so track them as far as you can. Find a worthy death if you must.
We will set upon any of them we find. Sell our lives dearly. Take as many of them as we can.
Spend your lives wisely.
Matthias, there was definitely not a witch lady. She might have some information for us. We have to burn some sage.
Who's this?
Okay. Some woman that Rat has told me about. Transform herself into a bear.
She was there during the fight. Yeah, she transformed into a wolf, into a bear, into a lady. It's okay. She says she wasn't a witch. I checked. But she helped us, and
And he kind of looks around.
we don't have that many friends left.
Let us burn the sage.
And he reaches into his
I had some ready for you. I thought you might say that.
So yeah, we'll burn it.
Okay.
See if she turns up.
Sorry, was that with Attilia? Was she there?
Attilia's around. But she's like she's a non-combatant. She's like a lawyer who happens to know a heal
Right.
spell.
Because Yidris wanted to speak with her to see if she knew how to read the stars and to, like see the signs in the way of like the astrology signs and see if we can get any hints or fresh prophecy, please.
Mm-hmm. Attilia, when Yidris approaches her about this, my schooling was all in history and the law and tenets of my religion. I'm afraid I know nothing about how the stars influence the events on Earth. She seems apologetic about it.
That's all right. I just thought it worth asking. Thank you for your help with the healing.
The Amber Wizard will know more.
like you just like kind of looks at Matthias like, are you feeling okay, dude?
Ordained wizards. They're fine. We'll have to check your paperwork.
Yeah,
There's
there's
background check on.
there's some background chat about Mullet going on. I think Mullet has probably. I mean, it's the chat's fault, Rat. I'm very sorry. I was going to do my best to protect Mullet. He was going to be in a G-rated Milo and Otis type movie while you guys are over here in a bloodbath. But I think Rat finds Mullet dead.
Rat walks up to Nora.
Mhm.
He hands her a dagger.
I want to take the Slayer oath.
I don't understand why you've given this to me.
He kind of points back into the room behind him that he's just left.
And she sort of, not that if she kneels down she's going to be any, she's not that much bigger than him. She's like, you're going to have to explain to me what's going on, Rat.
He's dead, Nora. He's dead. I thought Sigmar gave him to me. I thought that was the one thing I had. Dead.
And Nora, she actually quite liked Mullet, and she realized how much it meant to Rat. She does this purely out of instinct, but has never, she sort of just gives him a hug and just sort of holds on to him for a bit. He's like, he's in a better place now. Just, you don't want him here where there's demons and beastmen and all this crazy stuff. He's just sleeping now.
If I had, Nora.
You've got us now.
But you don't really need me. Mother and me were a team. I know I'm not the one that keeps this team together.
I don't think you realize how important you are to this group. You're the cheerful one. You're the glue that keeps us all together. Otherwise, we're just a bunch of miserable sods. And she sort of like pulls away from him a bit and sort of like almost like holds his face. He's like, it's gonna be all right. Everything is in the shit at the moment, but remember, we're doing all this for a reason. And she sort of like just pats him, and she's just like, you're doing good. But she sort of realized now that she has hugged him, is now patting him awkwardly, like, you did really good. How about...
No, I meant a good thing, bringing back though.
Well, why don't we go give him a proper burial and lay him to rest how he should have done?
He just kind of looks up with no context at all.
Do you think it was punishment for the girl? Did I make a bad decision?
I don't think it was that at all. I think Sigmar had him perform his service and then wanted him by his side. And she sort of holds out her hand and she's like, shall we go lay him to rest?
Let me have one more night. I don't think I'll be able to sleep without him tonight. Tomorrow, okay?
She just sort of backs up and nods, and she's like, well, you know where I am? And being really even more awkward, sort of quickly turns away and walks as fast as she can because she's feeling incredibly awkward and sad right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Rat kind of just curls up next to his dog like he has every night for the last 5 years and falls asleep.
Okay.
I'm having flashbacks to the first session where we were all making plans and Rat goes and curls up under the table with Mullet.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P. Mullet. At some point, Red Wolf shows up as you burn the sagebrush. And she appears... are any of you keeping watch from like the tower or keeping an eye on the courtyard near where the stables are? Alero is?
Always.
Anyone else? Always. Then Alero sees
Yidris would frequently patrol as well. Sorry.
Okay, so, all right, Alero and Yidris then will see a crow fly down into the middle of the courtyard and increase in mass and size until it is Red Wolf, the Amber Shaman, standing in front of you. And I think last time I said she's dressed in very loose-fitting animal furs, and has like a necklace and almost like a Mr. T kit, but of feathers and talons and teeth and these sort of animalistic fetishes around her. She has a stout staff and just the biggest mane of auburn hair you've ever seen. Well weathered, and she looks around. I was summoned. Someone has called for me.
Yes.
I guess she's addressing Yidris if Yidris is close.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be there at this point.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that last bit? I lost it.
She just is. She's just addressing Yidris like, you summoned me?
I believe Matthias wished to speak with you.
Ah, I'm glad to see he's feeling better. And yourself as well. And she, it's been like maybe 2 days since you've seen her. Last time you were being rushed to...
Yeah, there was like a whole thing going on last time I saw her. I like dimly remember there was something to do with like Amber mentioned as I was like near passing out on the back of a horse.
She looks at Yidris. It is forbidden for me to allow a roof over my head. If Matthias would meet me out here, I will be happy to discuss everything I know and have discovered with him.
I shall bring him.
Yep.
Thank you for your part in the fight.
She nods appreciation.
And Alero would join them in the courtyard once they're there.
Okay. You find her talking to the horses in the stables.
Mm-hmm. Amber Mage, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. The gloaming sign is ascendant, and chaos reigns as a grip on this land like I've never seen.
What do you know of it? We saw strange magic swirling around Obelheim when the beastmen attacked. I wish to know more.
I can show you the site of where the witch was during the attack. I found it, as well as tracked something back towards the camp that is near the old ford.
Please, show us.
Yes. Obviously, it is something that is not natural.
Not natural, no. Something is attempting to wrest control of this land and its inhabitants, its creatures, its very life. For some purpose I do not understand.
Surely you have noticed how the wildlife is behaving?
An abomination. Yes. Tal grants a degree of protection to animals, but they are not immune to the pernicious effects of chaos. She sort of is pacing and kind of circling around everyone in the courtyard at this. I think that what we observed is part of a ritual. I do not know what its end is for.
It would make sense. They strung up the bodies and When I attempted to cut one down, it responded in a strange way. Iron filings were thrown from it.
There will be wards on some of the most important ones. Some subtle magic has been woven over this land for a great long time. It is deep and layered and anchored to something in this land.
I see. This is something they've been planning for a time. So, bring such a brayherd to this area. It's been years in the planning. There are those who suspect the Talists. They're priests. We have reason to believe that they are involved.
I share your suspicions, Matthias. I do not know how many. I know
I don't
some.
know any more about them.
Oh. I do not know much about them. I know some of them in the area. I've been initiated into their rites, but do not share the faith.
Do you know of one named Aldebrand? He works up in Badau.
Aldebrand, yes. The Markgraf's personal priest.
Oh, that's new information. Suspicions over 10,000 right now.
He implied he was a
Like an
follower
eyebrow.
of Sigmar, not of Tal.
The Markgraf is a man of two worlds. His family is deep roots in the region, but he himself was whelped and raised in Talabheim. It's possible that he is a Sigmarite because it is expected of him.
His true faith is to tell. He wears the
just
symbols
gives-
to disguise his true nature.
It just gives Matthias the look.
Mm-hmm. The eyes narrow, and the eyes narrow.
Now, there are a lot of people in the Empire that worship a great many gods, right? Sigmar is generally seen as the patron of every inhabitant of the Empire. I kind of have an expansive view of Sigmar, and that encompasses the elves, dwarves, and halflings that call the Empire home. But, you know, if you're sailing on a vessel, you make a sacrifice to Manon. If you're
Right. You
Gonna
can
do some hunting?
polytheistic.
Sure.
right, yeah.
I think I just had a really bad feeling about Aldebrand, and we've got loads to suspect about the Talis, and now he's a personal priest, and we have reason to suspect the Markgraf somewhat of being a bit of a...
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This is just a nail in his coffin.
Yeah, not looking good for him.
A log on his fire.
Yeah.
She asks, have you spoken with Vendelin Bot, or heard of him?
We've heard the name, but have not been able to journey to meet with him.
He is the head of their celebrant cult. The hedonists, and, well, it's quite an experience if you've never participated in one of their rituals.
Let's see. Well, this is very useful information, thank you. My thought is that we must defend these lands from the beastmen, but when we have defeated them, the true cleansing begins of the enemy within. And those who
Indeed.
are responsible for this attack will be brought to justice. It's good to know where to start. This witch,
I am here for
say,
you.
Is it one of the beastmen, one of the shamans, or was it a Talist that you suspect helped in this
There were-
ritual?
There were 3 of them. At least one is cloven-hoofed. It's perhaps a Bray shaman. But there are at least 3. I can show you.
Do.
And at that, she's like, it's south of the village. And so she gets ready while y'all make way to exit the castle and all that other business. She walks. She's barefoot.
Horses.
Yeah. Actually, if there's a horse for her to ride, she'll ride a horse. She's a pretty decent rider. And she leads you. I'm assuming everyone's going. Leads you south into the woods. Now, the woods to the south are much thicker than those to the east. The east, you can kind of tell have been thinned out a bit by logging and the like. To the south, it's much both hillier and the forests are thicker. And
the wild magic for me, crit for Pruitt. Thank you, Anonymous, for that. I can roll that up now.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Get ready to roll a lot of these. 403 is a strange magic in this area, clearly. I must carry at least 30 feet of rope at all times. Which works well because it's twice
Super strong rope, yeah.
You got strong rope.
Yeah. Was carried.
Take the strong rope. Take the strong rope. And then let's see. There we go. So, Red Wolf leads you out south of the village into the hilly, heavily forested lands immediately south there. And on a hill overlooking Obelheim with just a gap through the trees where you can see straight into the village, there's a clearing where all of the leaves and pine needles and all of that have been pushed aside, and a perfect circle has been cleared out of the debris. And those of you familiar with the trappings of witchcraft can tell that there are, that these where these candles are for, and a sacrificial rock, and a blood stain on the ground, and multiple footprints.
So that is a mount for Alero from Mr. Pokey. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Nice. What if it's like just a unicorn comes out of the fucking woods?
I mean, that's cool. Sure.
I like if she's noted the area where this ritual took place, Matthias will reach down and pull the Aragorn, a hobbit lay here, sort of feeling of the ground, and if there's any blood on the ground or anything like that.
There is a stone that looks like it was placed here. It's not was not part of the environment. That has a blood stain on it. Now the stain isn't particularly large. Looks like maybe a small animal. But there are clearly 3 sets of prints around it, and one of them is in fact cloven hoofed. You can make let's see. Probably a search. Yeah, search is sort of the notice clue type skill. Search 58. Gyrocopter.
That's a
The dwarf from Karak Suftbar just shows up in his helicopter.
I came from behind. Yeah.
Does this world have hookahs?
They have. They have cannons. Right. They have many varieties of large and multi-barreled cannons. So they have the equivalent, and they're like bombs. Matthias. Matthias, you see these are clearly the markings of witchcraft, right? The spell involved is difficult to discern from here, but this is not just a quick spell or something that a caster summoned. This looks like the work of 3 witches working in concert to do something. You also get a taste of your tongue of ash of something burned. As you inspect the site, it has a very charcoal sort of flavor in the air.
You're right, wizard. There were 3 of them. A ritual spell here which has been well practiced and well versed by all of them. They are no hedge magicians. They were prepared for it. So the nature of the spell I cannot discern. But it may have been to increase the fury and ferocity of the Ungors that we fought. Perhaps to coordinate them. This is worrying me.
Yeah, since Alera doesn't really know what they're talking about with whatever happened, she'll just kind of doesn't remember. She'll just kind of do a circuit and just kind of keep watch, like at the edge of this clearing.
It may even been to summon the demon, or more of them. This confirms our suspicions that there are witches involved.
And there are many ways the demon could have gotten here. They've told you about this place, haven't they? When you were summoned here. Did anyone warn you what was here?
We heard that there was missing dwarves. We heard that there was a pole upon this land which seethed and masked, but we did not know that there was such rampant chaos here. If we had, we would not have taken the actions we did.
I see. No. There are some who believe this place to be cursed, simply because they are ignorant and superstitious. But others know that the path of the comet, Warpstone, passed over this land and bathed it in dust and shards before heading on to Mordheim. It is... something has tapped into that, I think. This whole land is dusted with it, and it would be easy enough to manipulate the winds of magic to take advantage of that.
I see. Then you are a wizard as well. Can you use the power in these lands against them?
I can, and it blows strong lately. I find that the beast is easy to summon and difficult to control when I change form. But I'm a magister of the Amber Order, and will do what I can to cleanse these lands of chaos.
Our service will be required. And, ex-liver is 10 pounds. Can I get Rat some Ilifmar mail?
Ooh. Yes.
Davis will decide.
I have no idea what that is. That's good, right? They're not fucking me again.
No, that's like
Okay, cool.
silken armor, right? Like it's like elven chain. Yes, we'll have to figure out a way to get
It's
that.
the good touch. Not the bad touch.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much.
And then let's see. So Alero is off patrolling around the edges while Matthias consults with the Amber Mage. And that is when Alero spots movement through the trees as something equine is coming forward.
She will, bring her bow up to begin, grabbing at the string, but see the general form and relax a little bit. Actually, a little relieved that there's some kind of life, around here. And then maybe go into her pack and find a piece of an apple or something that was meant for Sophia. But go ahead and bring that out and kind of just start, making some noises to try to lure it over, whatever this this horse is.
Yeah, you see it as brilliant white as it comes through the trees, and it sort of turns one and comes straight for you, and that's when Alero recognizes that it is a white-maned unicorn that rides towards her. Now, of course, unicorns and wood elf maidens are sort of famously friendly in Warhammer.
Yeah.
And it approaches Alero.
Yes, the half-eaten apple like slips from her grasp and just like hits the ground, and she uses all of her willpower to keep her knees from shaking and giving out, and she will just kind of slowly extend like an open empty hand, and as it approaches, and she'll slowly start to step towards it just a little, like a few steps, nothing too aggressive.
Mm-hmm. It seems gentle and like it knows who you are and approaches and lets you pet its neck, put your hand through its mane. It's a very peaceful moment in the middle of this because the rest of you in the woods never shake the feeling that you're just being watched. And that kind of sensation just sticks with you. But around this unicorn, you have a sense of sort of security. Someone kills it.
Then an arrow comes out of the darkness, the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll pet this thing and like just try to keep her senses about her. And give it a good pat. The thing is, she wouldn't assume to try to like make this thing her mount. So she might just like pet it and like turn to go grab that apple, like turn back and walk back to grab the apple, pick it up, like feed it to her, be like, "Sweet beast, how have you lived through this, such purity? Thank you." And she'll actually kind of turn to maybe like just walk away thinking that this is just a moment. Does it follow her?
It seems like it's following you. Yeah. And like and staying with you. Like it's nuzzle, it's sort of whatever the part of the horse that's in the front's called.
Well, at that then she will, kind of realizing that this thing is staying with her, she will kind of move to its side and almost like ask permission, like, "May I?" And
the horse
go ahead and
or the unicorn dips down one of its legs.
She'll go ahead and hop up on it.
Awesome. So Alero, I guess, will come back at some point riding a unicorn. As the rest of you are like, you guys are discussing how many witches there are, and Matthias is pointing out like, oh, this candle's used for that kind of thing, consulting with the Amber Mage. And Alero comes back on a unicorn.
I think Laura just watches like go past, almost in sort of utter confusion and almost thinks she's out of it, not really thinking, like checks her leg just to see it's not like infected or anything like that.
Yeah. But Lara will kind of ride up near Matthias and hop down and give the unicorn a pat on the neck and just, "Matthias, I believe that the lands have sent an ally for us. Perhaps these lands themselves want to defend it."
There is good left in this place. It has found its way to you, Alero. Now, I've forgotten the name of the Amber Mage, I'm afraid.
She's just Red Wolf is the only thing she's ever called herself.
Red Wolf. Okay. Say to Red Wolf, thank you for your assistance. There's not long until we ride to Bevold Keep. If you could join us there for the fight, it would be appreciated.
I will come when I am needed, but I do not care for roofs or the company of the Markgraf's men. Watch yourself. We know that they are cutthroats and killers who the Markgraf surrounds himself with because these are dangerous lands and they are his men. The goblins are a problem, and they do protect the villagers from them. Something is hidden, these beastmen, though. I'm not sure that the Markgraf's men have the stomach for that fight.
They flee. They do not wish to face it head on.
No. They would rather smoke out goblins from their caves.
We will make them see the error of their ways at Bareford Keep. And it will be a matter of fighting or dying.
I will meet you there when the fighting comes. Until then, I will see what I can learn. If you have need of me, I will smell the sagebrush and come.
Thank you, Redwood. And Matthias trusts this woman because she's helped them out a lot here.
Yeah. She points out the trail that she found nearby as well. And she's like, she's mostly talking to Alero at this point. If you follow it a day to the stream, they turned there and headed upstream. The only thing I know of that's upstream is Altford, the mutant camp.
Yes. I wonder if they could twist the mutants there to their cause.
If Rat approaches Red Wolf, and he kind of, with a shaky hand, hands her a pouch of gold.
You can do something. My mother is dead. And you know magic. Can you bring him back to life? You can have everything I have.
She kneels down to Rat and hands him back the coin purse. Cannot bring your dog back. It is not the way of Tal for creatures to come back after they have perished. But I can assure you that he is at peace. And she, like I said, hands the bag of coins back. The creatures that we surround ourselves with are quite dear to us. You should take comfort in the joy that you got from Mullet, and know that it is possible to find that again, Rat. And she just kind of gives you a pat on the shoulder.
Rat kind of swallows a deep swallow. He kind of knew it was the last hope, and it's just been extinguished. But he thinks he knew the answer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I thought that was going to be the way.
It's always hard losing anyone that we care for.
How far is the camp?
Camp. It's another day to the stream, and then from there, a few hours walk upstream towards the camp. It is heavily wooded, though. There are no trails there.
I turn to Matthias.
Our next destination will be Bareford Keep. Mutant camp. While I wish it to be burned, I don't know that we can allow such a veto.
They killed Matthias. One of them, he's hiding there. They killed Mullet.
I know. They will all burn, right? Fear not. But now is not the hour.
And Alera will put a hand on Rat's shoulder. Just in comfort.
Just in comfort. So you guys are here. At some point, Red Wolf is going to just walk off into the woods. You don't see her other three wolves at any point. But she seems as though she's walking around this place like it's her home and doesn't seem at all worried about what might be out there. But you were here, like I said, it was maybe a good 30-minute walk out of the village or ride to get to where you're at. and you can see through that gap in the trees just the perfect little picture frame of Obelheim. So what's the plan of action right now? You guys have got, it's maybe about halfway till you expect the road wardens to arrive.
While we're out here in the woods, Yidris wants to look for some more Terabeth and some more valerian flowers because they were really helpful last time. And
Okay.
since we're out here, just she won't wander too far because she is kind of scared about what she's going to find if she does. But she definitely wants to go and look for those precious herbs.
Okay. So it's an outdoor survival roll at regular difficulty to find the herbs that you're looking for.
The unicorn also has a wild magic surge.
Oh God.
Rip. That's how it starts. Is there a way I can desecrate this area? Because I don't want it happening again. Like,
Yeah.
Consecrate, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can consecrate it. Yeah, you can also. Yeah.
Just,
I
do,
would've
just do
ruined
like a
it.
piss circle. Just piss around it.
9-4, 5-4 for the unicorn. The next weapon nearby to draw blood becomes legendary.
Fuck yeah.
that's going to be your bow, right? Because your bow draws blood every time you fire.
Oh my god, that's not wrong.
Well, now. Yeah, thanks, Bog, by the way.
All right.
It's not even every time he fires, it's just every time he rolls it.
Yeah, Alera was gonna go on a patrol a little bit, and so
Yeah, but first we'll head back and wait. You say it was a day until the road wardens get here?
It's
Few
about
days?
3 days. Yeah.
3 days.
It's about 3 days. It's 3 more days. Yep.
There's not too much else Matthias wants to do, so he'd go back to the keep and prepare for the next couple of days until they arrive.
Okay. Alero's going to patrol a bit. Anyone staying out here with Alero?
I will. I
Okay.
kind of failed on the herb hunt, so I'll just patrol with Alara.
Yeah, it's going to take you a while to find them. They're out here somewhere, but it'll take you a while to find them. And
Red, would you like to accompany us?
Rat will zip up after urinating on this what a holy place for them. And he'll nod, kind of clutching at his dagger, wanting to kill something.
Okay.
Would you like to ride on Nisa?
He kind of looks up a little bit scared of this beast and just kind of nods.
I'm not gonna be able to get that up there on my own though.
Well, I can help you if she will allow it.
and yeah, she'll just help Rat up on Nisa.
Okay. Yeah, the two of you easily go there. It's so, and that's Rat and Alero. Gidris, you were going to travel with them as well, you said? Or did I hear right? And then how about Nora?
Yeah.
I think Nora's probably going to go with them again, but more to just stretch her leg after, she sort of feels quite restricted, trying to get it back to feeling normal. So she sort of just goes, not necessarily at a fast pace, but she's there to try and stretch out her leg.
If Nora's going along, then Yidris will go back with Matthias.
Okay.
Like, if she gets a sense that Nora is going to tag along, then she'll kind of do a loop and go and catch up with Matthias and walk back with him.
Okay.
You need not follow my every step, Idris.
I've seen what happens when we wander too far. The demon was right outside the castle walls, if you have forgotten.
I do not forget such heresy. I only hope to meet it dead on. Let us go back.
Next time.
So is Matthias going back alone or with Yidris?
Yidris will go back with him.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like a little bit like, oh, I can do this on my own. Yeah, I can walk
She's
back.
like, nah, brah.
No. All right. All right then. So Alero, Rat, and Nora make a patrol of the woods to the south of Obelheim. Give me an idea how you guys travel. I guess Alero and Rat are on the Unicorn with Nora walking beside. Now, the Unicorn is, first off, quite hefty and is really kind of strong, and also has a very pleasant, calming aura that helps ward against magic. So keep that in mind as you're with the Unicorn.
Yeah, and also if Nora's on foot, Alero will probably hop down and be on foot as well.
Okay.
Just like have Rat up there to give him a better vantage point. But she wants to kind of head and go a little bit a ways down that trail that Red Wolf pointed out. And
okay. Then give me a follow trail roll. Red Wolf pointed out to you once, she like pointed it out. So you get a plus 20 for that.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 27, so that'll give me 3 degrees of success.
Yeah. You find it, and the Beastmen are clever. The woods are their home, and Altaman wasn't lying when he described them as moving through the woods like ghosts. But they still move, and they still leave a trail. And you find it right where Red Wolf told you to, and it is it looks like just a large mass of hoofed creatures came through here. It looks like when a herd of cattle comes through someplace, it's just everything's trampled and the leaves are crushed and stick-smith and everything. And of course, the ground here is still very soggy and spongy and muddy and leaves deep prints wherever you go. So Alero finds the trail of the beastmen quite easily.
Okay. She'll point it out to the others and
let us follow it just for a bit to see where they go. Then we can swing back to the castle.
You follow it for a ways. It passes by a small stream at some point, maybe an hour after you're following it. Cross over a small stream, and as you get to the stream, what do you guys do?
She'll kind of turn around and look at Nora and Rat, and how
much further would you like to go?
I'm looking more at Rat, like she can kind of sense his anger.
Can I do a perception check? Can I see if anything is around this area? Like now we've got deeper into the forest. Is there any sign of any woodland animals or anything like that?
Yeah, much further. You get away from the immediate vicinity of Obelheim, and the forest life does return. You first hear it as birds, and then little squirrels and chipmunks and things. But after a while, it's just a pleasant walk in mixed forest. It's kind of hilly, but you are coming down out of the hills that you were in.
If you stand here, it's almost like nothing happened. It's like the world just forgot about what's behind us and carried on.
That is the way of the world, Rat. Most of the places around the land, the Empire, the Elfin lands, absolutely nothing. It is peace. Which is why we should fight so hard to keep most of the world like that.
He nods. We've got friends at home. If we go too far, they'll worry about us.
Is there an obvious crossing point of this river where I think they might have made a cross?
Oh, river's a generous term. It's more like a small stream or creek. It's not even like 4 feet across. There's a ford, just a rocky path through the creek. Your boots are going to get wet and the like, but you can see clear as day that they walked right across the stream here. The trail picks up immediately on the other side of it.
Can I take some time? So a lot of my past career was in rat catching. Can I set up a trap, but maybe weighted a little bit more heavier than the normal animals I would have dealt with? Maybe just nothing to necessarily kill, but just to fuck something's foot up, stands on it.
Gotcha. Yes. Yeah, you can set a trap for that.
I'll do that just out of, I'm going to get someone with this, and someone that's probably up to no good.
Okay.
And then, I will mark the tree next to it. I'll carve into it for mullet. And then I'll say, okay, we can go back now.
While Rat is doing this, both Nora and Alero catch the scent of charcoal on the wind. Like the wind shifts. It was blowing out of the west for a while, and then it comes blowing down out of the north, and you catch a strong scent of burning wood and charcoal.
Nora's like, do you smell that?
I do. And with that, Alero's going to kind of...
You probably heard her do this before, make a noise, and then she kind of goes into a crouch and just kind of goes into the woods. She's going to try to conceal herself in the woods and head towards that smell. See if she can get a better look at whatever it is.
Okay.
Nora knows she cannot sneak, so she will stay where she is.
All right. In that case, have Alero make me some silent move rolls. Just the one.
Woo!
Yeah.
There we are. We're back to this again.
Back to that again.
Every time I try to sneak, which I'm supposed to be good at.
Or do anything wood elfy.
Yeah, wood elfy. I fuck it up. Anyway, even though I'm at a +10 on that, but still.
Yes. You come across a small clearing further upstream, and there are several earthen mounds where smoke is sort of rising from them, a couple of huts, and it's sort of milling about. There's maybe a half dozen or so human men here doing something. And you also notice that around the perimeter of this clearing, in the trees, are little wicker figures that someone has hung from the branches. Like little, just simple, like a cross and an X figure made out of twigs, vines wrapped around them, and hung from the trees like ornaments.
Have I ever seen anything like this? Like this specifically?
You've seen people make corn husk dolls and things like that. You've seen people make figures out of sticks and other natural materials, but not specifically since you've gotten to this region yet. No.
Okay, is there one near enough that I could grab it and take it back? Or is it still closer to the camp?
There's one near enough that you could grab it and take it back. I will need you to make another move silently to do that, though. There are, like I said, about a dozen humans milling about the clearing.
All right. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to use a fortune point to re-roll that.
Okay.
There we go. There it is. That's what I'm supposed to be good at. I finally snuck. Fine.
Yeah, Alero reaches up, and at the last minute, one of them turns and looks at you, or looks in your general direction as you lift one of these figures off the branch, and peeks around. But there's plenty of cover, right? There's a bunch of bushes and ferns and all that other kind of undergrowth that's here, and goes back to doing whatever it is he's doing. Looks like he's building one of these mounds that the smoke is coming from.
Okay. Is there anything special about what they're wearing? Are they wearing armor? Do they look like they have forged weapons or anything like that?
They look like woodsmen. They're dressed in workman's clothes and yeah.
All right. Well, I'll grab that and head on back.
Okay.
And when I get back, I will tell Nora and Rat what I found and show them the little wicker man. And I don't know if they are Talists, but perhaps Matthias can shed some light on it.
I agree. I think it's time we turn back.
Okay. And by now, Rat's finished setting up his trap and carving his message.
Okay. I'll go ahead and hop up on Nisa and pull Rat up.
Okay.
Rat kind of eagerly looks back to where they were, tossing the dagger in his hand, contemplating things, but realizes it's probably not a good idea, and then gets back on the horse.
All right. Let's see. Getting back is fairly easy. The trail, once you find it, is pretty easy to follow, and it takes you back close to where the magic circle was that you were investigating earlier. But you can follow the trail all the way to the southern gate of Obelheim, and as you get there, as the sun starts to set, you are now, well, it's almost time to be dark. Anything you guys do as this night falls on the castle?
No, just tell Matthias about the what we found out there. Show him the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bury my
Idris
dead
is-
dog.
But yeah, Idris's wild magic surge was that she thinks that she looks totally different after each sunrise. So there's that.
So there's that.
Yeah. Matthias would warn, I guess, Council, if there were, it seemed like a lot of them, like 12. The Slayers have gone, it's pretty much just us back there. That we can wait a couple of days for the Road Wardens. It's on our way up to Thingamabob, Bearvold and Horno. So if they looked like there were going to be a lot more of them than just the 12, then we can burn the place down if needs be on the way.
Gotcha.
In the message.
Gotcha. All right, and so Yidris has some kind of breakdown. I take.
feel like her sixth sense starts twitching. Like she feels that magic is like moving around her, and she's drawn to find something reflective to look in. And as she looks in, I think it maybe it's kind of like a marshy, foresty area we're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she finds some sort of mist puddle, and as she looks down into the murk, like the face that she sees is just not hers. And she's just there staring into this puddle, knowing like that she felt that magic swell, and kind of trying to figure out what the hell this means.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird magic around here, and I can definitely see like it getting to Yidris, who seems to like things very ordered and categorized and proper. Yeah, Yidris sees someone different staring back from her.
And she doesn't really want to go and talk to Matthias about this yet. So she's gonna just really hope that she hasn't transformed and go and find somewhere. Go and find somewhere quiet.
Continue.
Yeah, any heretic that wants to come into my office can feel absolutely full.
Go and find kind of somewhere quiet to kind of hide and kind of wait for the others to get back, because she'll go and see Laro, Nora, or Rat before she sees Matthias about the fact that her face has changed. And possibly her hands and her legs now that she's looking at them too. So she's gonna go and hide, because she still feels like herself. She still remembers everything. And that's fine, she just doesn't look right.
If I smell magic or anything strange, I would come looking back if I do.
Matthias' least favorite shadow is nowhere to be seen.
Right.
I think you might note her absence over the next 3 days or so. If we are going over the next couple of days, then
we'll just the guy, the Nora and Rat and Alero get back a couple hours later, and then it's 3 more days before you see the Road Warden. So it's been a week that it's passed.
So totally one night, the night before the Road Wardens come, Matthias creaks open the door because he hasn't seen the address in 2 days.
Idris is in there, the room is really dark because she's now avoiding seeing her reflection, because the last 2 days it's been someone else every time she's looked. and someone else from the someone else every time she's looked. And she kind of looks up from her corner. Matthias.
Idris, where have you been? It has been several days. I have noticed your absence, and the others are not quick to speak about your sudden disappearance.
She kind of takes a moment to kind of gear up her courage, and even though she's probably been reassured by one of the others that she looks perfectly normal, she's still kind of scared that Matthias is going to see through and see some sort of heresy in it. And she finally kind of stands and goes to the light that's coming in through the doorway.
Do I notice
Matthias?
anything strange about her? Will she look normal?
She seems normal to everyone else.
Yeah. What ails you?
What do you see when you look at me, Matthias?
I see you. Look unchanged.
For sure.
Yes. Why?
Every time I've caught sight of myself, the last few days I've seen someone else.
What have you seen?
Strangers' faces. Every time, someone else. Never my face. I'm afraid the magic.
It's a stop.
You guys are the freaking worst.
It's like who's gonna make the player break first?
Raphias is my favorite ship name. Raphias. Oh,
That was a
Yeah.
really great moment, guys.
yeah. That was such a good scene. He'll look at her and like the torch shines and say, I only see you. But if you have been having strange visions, well, we know that the mark of the gloaming is upon this place. Perhaps it has touched you as well.
Is there something that could be done? Do you not wish to be veiled in the deception of that sign? I wish to see my face.
It seems to influence others amongst our party as well. Alero and her mask. Seems that it has not reached your heart, only your mind. But I only see you, at least for now.
How do you heal a mind of magic, Matthias?
Faith. Faith in Sigma. And I once again, where I touched the girl Yaslin's forehead, where Sigma has touched me, I placed my finger on Idris's forehead. It will be okay, Idris. Walk in the light, not in shadow. Hide yourself in here. The words of chaos will only seep more insidiously into your mind.
Alright. And she'll place her hand over his where it's on her forehead and just take a moment to try and like really feel that Sigma, right, blessing and the strength, and then she'll follow him back out to whatever planning needs to be done or preparations for the next day.
Okay.
It's a wild magic surge for Idris as I touch her on the forehead.
This is a wild magic surge. Yeah, you guys are sick. In the chat.
Alright. Let me roll this bad boy. How much worse could it get?
How much worse could it get?
Why would you say that?
611, please, Will.
611.
The low
You
ones are all
can't
vomiting,
eat.
right?
Something like that.
Oh, 611, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get it right. You can't eat while you're at full hit points.
Well, that's great because you're at 10 of 14. So
Yeah, in this game, no chance of being at full HP, so dig in.
Yeah.
yeah.
If it's been like another few days, have we all healed up a tiny bit more? Or are we just...
Yeah, I mean, by the time the road wardens get there, everybody will be fully healed.
Okay.
I'd
At
say
which
to
point,
you,
Idris might.
I'd probably mention food and say, you need to eat. Look like you haven't eaten in a while.
Yes. I've been afraid of what this might have meant. How are the others?
Fear
And
is-
she'll just go with him to wherever the food is.
Fear is good. And she's got a little scar on her eyebrow, right, from the
Yeah, I
wound.
figured she got a good smack at some point.
Yeah.
You kind of point to that and say, the mark upon you. That should stir your fear and your hatred of chaos.
I do have a great deal of hatred in me, Matthias. The chaos we have seen here is a level of evil I did not know.
That which drives you forwards, the loss of those who are close to you. The pain I know as well, as does Rat now. We're all bonded by fire. And he turns and leaves.
Turns and leaves. So yeah, it sounds like Idris is going to go through a cycle of starvation and then binge eating, as she can't eat while at full hit points. Will maybe lose some hit
I feel
points.
like this is one of those, punishment things where she's, punishing herself, where she feels healthy and strong, and she needs the fire of that weakness to remind her to keep being brave and push through things. So she's, psychologically damaging herself at this point. Just keep...
Maybe a little survivor's guilt or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like you guys need an insanity point because of all the wild magic surges.
I'm gonna say
No, never mind. Alero does. What's Alero sitting at? How many insanity points does Alero have? 4. All right.
I'm 2 away from a real one.
So 3
I would
days
say that Idris
pass.
has insanity from that. That's...
I think so too. I think Idris has an insanity point from a lot of the things that have happened since the Beastman attack. All those secrets Idris is keeping from Matthias now.
Yeah, no, the one last thing you would say, because of course I have to drive the nail home, is never lie to me, Idris.
Of course not, Matthias.
I trust you.
And
Don't
I
fail me.
trust you.
There is the morning of the 7th day. It's a light drizzling rain, and for the last 3 days, you wake up in the morning and there's just a light rain. It kind of just casts the whole of the abandoned village of Obelheim in sort of like gray colors. During the entire nearly 9 days that you've been here, no one other than the 10 Markgraf's men have shown up to arrive. No other villagers from either Horno or Badau. No other travelers or anything. But Alero, ever on watch, sees a troop of horsemen coming up south from the road. Their true numbers and perhaps identity disguised by the rain. They are all wearing like slick overcoats and wide-brimmed hats to keep the rain off of them. And they are all indeed mounted.
Okay, she might go ahead and just call out to them, both to call to them and to alert everyone down in the castle that someone's here.
Okay.
So yeah, she will just call out, "Oh, who
goes there? Who approaches?
And from the road, through the rain, you can hear, I'm Captain Sigmund out of Leshka. Brought word, didn't you? Assistance for a witch hunter?
With the road wardens, yes?
That is us.
Yes, please come in.
Yeah.
And she'll go ahead and rush down to kind of, lower the drawbridge and all that fun stuff.
And they ride through. Now, there are too many of them for this castle, and it seems as though only 3 of them ride through. The rest of them are actually outside of Obelheim. It's difficult to tell their numbers, but there seems to be at least 40 of them, which would make them, which would mean that there's only like room for like 10 horses in the stable. But 3 of them ride up through the village, and one of them you can see he's got a long overcoat on, but underneath it there's a burnished breastplate and brigandine armor that he's wearing, pistols at his side and along his saddle, and then a large saber hangs at his side. He kind of looks around, has the grizzled look of a captain of the Empire. They call me Sigmund. Got word from Herr Scheuermann here that there was a beastman attack. He just looks out at the village. Which one of you is the witch hunter?
Yeah, I think Matthias is probably standing up there, been in the rain for the past few hours, is just bouncing off the hat and go out to meet him. And Matthias looks pleased for the first time to see that there's more than 5 people who have come to help us. And nod to the man, go in for the kind of arm lock, handshake. Captain Sigmund, it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Matthias Hurst. I am the witch hunter around here.
Greetings, Matthias. It seems as though you stirred up a hornet's nest.
Yes. It's time to kill those hornets.
Indeed. I've brought 47 of my best. There are more on the way, but it will be some time before they can get here. I felt speed was of the essence.
You are correct. Yeah, Sigmund. We must ride to Beervold Keep, where the Markgraf's men are waiting for us. That is where I planned for them to, the beastmen, to break upon us like water upon rocks.
Excellent. Well then, when you are ready, my men are prepared.
Yeah, I think Matthias has been itching to go, so...
yeah, you've had 3 days to get everything that you need, empty out the larders, if you guys want to refill your provisions, that kind of thing.
One of the last things I'd want to do is just speak with the old witch hunter, Ultiman, who presumably is staying behind.
Ultiman's going to come with you. I mean, he's not in fighting shape, but he can ride for a while. But he is, he's not really a contributing member of the group. He just doesn't. He's just looking for a safe place to be while this blows over.
In that case, I wouldn't bother speaking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna ready the horse, ready the unicorn, and turn to the party and say, we have achieved all that we can here in Obelheim. Our road leads us onwards to Horno and to Beervold Keep. Stop by that encampment that you saw along the road, and what is happening there?
Are we
Very well.
still short on horses? Sorry, that's the question. Because we only
I
had
think
2, right? Because we had Attilia's and
Scheuermann had one, and there was... Well, you found some that were in the stables of the Hog and Sow. And that first day, Alero got... That's where Sophia was, and there were others in there.
they didn't die from eating corpses or anything horrible.
They didn't seem to be effective. You've only seen, wild animals or,
Okay.
there were dogs and house cats and the like there, but the horses didn't seem to be affected by the spell. And I seem vaguely remember somebody would have moved them from the stables in the Hog and Sow into the castle. So I thought that you guys had mounts.
Okay, that's
Go
fine.
ahead
I
and
just
save
wanted
that.
to check. I'm fine with
Gotcha. So, of course, the road wardens are a type of they're basically like armed police that travel the roads and the like. So they're not like knights, right? They're not heavily armored, big swords and everything. They're more skirmishers. They're handy in the woods and are more like versatile, flexible fighters than like heavy fighters, if you catch my meaning. But there are 47 of them in 4 ranks, waiting for their captain and Scheuermann, who is the sergeant there, and the other officers of this detachment of road wardens. And Captain Sigmund invites you to ride at the head of the column. We have much to discuss.
Yeah, I absolutely. Bring the squad back to the front ranks as we leave Olheim. Something that Matthias would have discussed is that we definitely want the road wardens to be loyal to us, less so the Markgraf. We don't trust him. So I'd say to Captain Sigmund, Captain, we have encountered the Markgraf's men and do not trust them fully to stand and fight. In the case come to a battle, they are cutthroats and jumped up mercenaries. I would ask that you consider your faith to Sigmar first, before any allegiance to a lord. Pointedly, there are lots of pistols on Matthias right now.
Matthias and Sigmund discuss where they fucking keep all their pistols. He looks at Matthias and gives you. I'm from Visenland myself. Never much cared for this part of the Empire. Markgraf Bigmar is a pleasant enough ruler here and cooperates with us. But our loyalty is to the Emperor and to the safety, good people of this land. Rest assured of that.
Remind me who the Emperor is at this time, because it's not Karl Franz, right?
It's not. It is Wilhelm IV, a relative of Karl Franz who took over after the revealed that Karl Franz was a doppelganger. Yeah, and like road wardens are deliberately placed in places that are not their home, right? They're deliberately sent to parts of the Empire where that they don't have ties to the local communities.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I'm happy about that. Mention the encampment of possible Talists or mutants that Alero and the others found, and sort of want to head in that direction up through Horno to be able to keep.
Okay, so you're looking for the camp that they found the other day on the stream,
right?
That's going to be like if Horno is northeast of where you're going, that's going to be southeast. So it's possible to kind of loop there and back. And you estimate that it'd take maybe half a day to revisit that camp if you wished.
It's quite a long time.
Can Rat try and influence Matthias in this? So, by the way, overnight, Rat has 100%, like, as much as a one-eyed halfling can do in a puddle, he has given himself the Slayer Mohawk. He is convinced that he needs to avenge Mullet. And yeah, it's awful, but he's given himself a Slayer Mohawk.
Matthias, I need to do this. This is... Sigmar speaks to me every day about this. Please.
Very well. And then Matthias will give the signal that we'll go southeast first and then head northeast.
Okay.
And I give Rat one of my pistols because I have the Hochland one now, and I kind of just out of his holster towards Rat. You might need this.
He hangs it on his belt like a gunslinger.
All right. So, I'm assuming it's just the party that's going there. Forget that you guys are also carrying on. So all of the other NPCs that you've been with right now, Attilia, Autocar, and the like, unless you specifically are, want them, they will be with the main group. And you guys will rendezvous later.
Send those guys as quick as possible to the keep, and we'll get there as soon as we can.
Yeah, I mean, and it takes... They can ride fast, but, there's still like 40-something of them. It'll take a while for them to get there, so you can probably catch up with them. Alero finds the trail easily enough and follows it over the hills and down the slopes to the stream where Rat had laid his trap some 3 days earlier. And so, like I said, it takes about half a day to get there, but you find that stream fairly quickly.
Show me the way, Alero.
It is just over here, over the rise.
Is the smell of charcoal? I know that with the rain coming down, it's going to probably mute the smell of charcoal a little bit, but is it still on the air?
You don't smell it as much. It sort of hangs in the air, but it's not sharp and fresh like it was the other day.
Okay. And she'll go ahead and lead them over the hill, through the woods. The charcoal burners we go.
To the charcoal burners we go. You make it to the stream, and Alero shows you upstream what it was that you saw. And indeed, there is a clearing. There are 3 large mounds, 2 of which are smoldering. Just sort of like wispy grayish smoke kind of coming out from these holes in the top of them. And there are several shacks and little huts built along the clearing. And it like hugs the stream. The stream is just right there. And that's what you find. You do not see anyone walking about or milling about.
The stream, does it flow down to the castle? Or does it flow up from the castle?
It flows south, so it flows away from Obelheim.
Okay. I turn to Rat and say, I will let you take the lead on this one, Rat. Test your newfound faith in Sigmar.
Have we been spotted yet? Are the villagers anywhere to be seen?
You don't see any of them right now, no.
Can Rat try and attempt to sneak into town? Not into this little village, and kind of have a peek through one of the huts and see if anyone's in there?
Yeah, you can make me a silent move. If you're trying to like also camouflage yourself, you can also use concealment. Silent move is like the general stealth skill, though.
I will use concealment if possible, just because it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
15. 5 degrees of success.
Sweet. Plenty of cover here. Plenty of places for Rat to find himself. And as you get closer, Rat, you see bodies scattered throughout the clearing. Lying around the mounds. One of them slumped against one of the huts that are there.
I'll just pause for a second. Can I see if there's like any movement from them, like any kind of breath or anything?
Looks like the one slumped against the hovel is slowly breathing. You occasionally see it sort of move, like a hand move or something. The others are still and lifeless.
I will call everyone.
I think someone's beating this to it. There's one still left.
I will bound for him. And I will pull him down onto the floor and kind of kneel on his chest. Not so much to cut off his breathing, but to kind of restrain him.
Yeah, he's got a large head wound on one side. Looks like someone cracked him upside the head, and it's just like caked in blood and kind of come down. The others you can't really tell. By the time everyone else gets there, Rat is like sitting on top of this bloodied, beaten guy in the middle of this clearing.
I will stare down at him and I'll say,
"Who are you and who did this?"
I am. Name's Egon. And those fucking dwarves did this. He just like spits up blood and like there's teeth that fall out. And he just like you can tell he's like his eyes are having difficulty locking onto you.
I kind of smile a little bit.
Well, you've got not too long left to live, and you have to make a decision whether you want it to be swift or you want it to be incredibly painful. I've got
His
a friend
eyes
here.
kind of like you're not a rescuer, you're not a villager who's come to help him. You know, he's kind of like
I've got a friend here who is exceptional at talking to people and finding information.
And I look to Yidris.
I feel like
about the time
Yidris
is when Yidris coming up.
Idris is just staring down at Rat and like, who the hell are you? Like,
Who are you working for?
He's like, I work for the Markgraf. We make we make charcoal for his smiths. And he just like spitting up blood at this point.
The set of footprints we followed, was it? It wasn't the Hooven kind, was it?
But you were following the trail of the beastmen, and it passed right by here. Like the ford
Okay.
where they passed is, you can see it from the clearing.
The beastmen that came through here. You couldn't have missed it. They wouldn't have left you alive.
What are you talking about?
Just his kind of denying it has made him even more angry.
Yidris will assist Rat by being as physically intimidating as she can from atop her horse.
Okay.
She's like not going to interfere with this, but she'll like straighten up and bulk up.
What do the rest of y'all do real quick? So Yidris has come over there and is assisting Rat with a bit of impromptu interrogation. Everyone else, you come into this clearing and there are 5 bodies that have been just savaged by all manner of things, lying amongst the mounds of smoldering with smoke and then the hovels that are further into the clearing.
Alero will just make a circuit and try to find where the tracks lead. Obviously, we don't see any dwarven bodies here.
You
No.
do not see any dwarven bodies here. No.
Well, she's gonna like circle around until she finds which direction the tracks leaving here go. Or that's what
Okay.
she's looking
So I'm going to need, let's see, give me a follow trail to find the tracks of the dwarves. How about Matthias and Nora real quick?
I think Nora, after hearing this guy mention dwarves, and also a little bit worried for the fact that Rat seems to have gone a little bit like he's been tipped over the edge, she sort of walks up behind him and looks over at the guy just to see how he reacts to her. But just having a hand ready maybe to pull Rat back so he doesn't do something that might make him regret it later.
Matthias will get down from his horse and step next to Rat once again in this slightly like instructional coach support position that he was in before with Rat and the young girl.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, you've got this guy like just at your mercy.
Yeah, Matthias will say, Beastmen, did they come by this way?
Looks around. They came by.
We let them pass.
They pass us by. We don't. We lay out the offerings and put up the totems. They don't
There was
bother us.
There were 3 of them. 1 of cloven hoof, and 2 were human. You saw them?
I didn't. I saw nothing. I saw nothing.
You heard them? The magics in the night? 3
No,
days ago?
I didn't. We didn't. We heard nothing. We didn't. We just we put up the totems and we laid out the offerings and they passed us by. We didn't see anything. We didn't hear anything.
You must
He's
have
starting
done
to like
something.
panicked.
Tell me everything, and we will be lenient.
Someone make me an intimidation roll for goodness sake.
I sure will.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll use my frighten on this as well if I can help her.
Okay.
2
Looks
degrees
like
is
I don't need
success.
to.
Yidris, you're what? Preparing your instruments or something?
I'm
What are you
like
doing?
just on the back of this horse, and just like the flail is there, the knives are there. It's the sense that the second she comes off this horse, he's in real trouble, and she's just watching and just waiting.
If anyone
Like,
looks to do anything aggressive towards him, Rat will kind of step in for now. But yeah, I just don't
Okay.
want anyone to get the drop on him.
Gotcha.
So, in a really low voice, she'll ask, "Tell us about the offerings." Well, not ask, but she'll.
It's a recipe handed down. Just know it. And you make a cake for them, and they leave you alone.
Cake.
It's like a blood cake, and you give them ale, and they leave us alone. They know. He looks around at the trees. He's like, you put the token there, and they won't.
All I
It
want
didn't mean anything. Buy it.
is to know about the witches that were here not long ago. The ash and the charcoal, which you provided to them.
He just swallows hard and like, Rat, you've got your pistol in his face?
So what I'll be doing is when they're talking, I'll be rustling in my bag, and I will pull out a small length of rope, which looks like a tattered dog lead, and I'll be putting it over his head.
All right.
You push me to this, Jim. You push me to this.
I give him some of my rope because it's 2 times as strong.
It is 2 times as strong. The dying charcoal burner looks around at the situation he finds himself in. There were 3 of them at the head of the herd. I recognized the one with the antlers. I've seen her before. The elf and the man I didn't recognize.
Who was...
And he just like looks at Matthias as he says the man. You had your eyes.
Matthias shoots this guy in the face.
All right. Matthias shoots this guy in the face. That makes this a legendary weapon from the Wild Magic Search from the Unicorn.
So that your Hawkline is now a legendary weapon.
It's like a very sudden burst of anger that you don't see from Matthias often, and he just kind of gets it out and shoots him in the face.
Okay.
Rat will punch Matthias in the face.
Yeah, no, he'll punch him right back, and if he can, he's gonna force Rat down onto the ground and like strangle him.
All right, give me opposed weapon skill rolls for this. We'll just abstract it.
So at this point, Yidris gets off her horse.
I was gonna say, can Nora try just pull them apart? Like,
I'm beaten by four.
Ooh, Rat! Oh no, sorry, Rat. For a second, I thought. Never mind, I misread it.
Wait.
Rat.
Can I use my crit?
All right, that's shotgun rolls.
I'll use mine right back, baby.
So that for a second, I
You're back to roll off.
think you're back to a roll. For a second, the two of you sort of like ineffectually grapple and just sort of punch each other. You know how it is when you're just like overcome with emotion and not necessarily thinking clearly. I'm assuming that's kind of what was happening there.
Right.
Like
no, I don't-
Nora. Let's say like Nora would probably grab Rat, and Yidris
I
would
was gonna
grab
say, can I
Matthias.
literally drag Rat off them?
Rat would be screaming, "He was mine! Sigma had told me he was mine! I needed him!" And it's just his eyes looking up at Matthias pleading.
Yeah, his like breathing super heavily from the like the burst of anger, and just sort of cools down as Nora's grabbed him.
You feel the tension kind of go from Rat as he collapses to his knees.
Nora sort of won't let go of him. She's not sure how, because that was a bit of a burst that she didn't expect from him, so she still sort of keeps him locked. And she's sort of like just whispering in his ear, like, calm down. There'll be plenty more for you to kill later. Is it really worth fighting over?
And he just breaks down and cries, just sobbing unconsolably.
Matthias.
Nora sort of just keeps holding him, sort of. It's not a hug, but it's not quite as much of a restraint as it was.
He shakes his head. Disappoints me. He just
Matthias.
unhand me.
Why did he say the man had your eyes?
I know not. Which is the first time that Matthias has ever lied.
Yay, join the team!
Like he looks her right in the eyes, I know not. And he gets
I
on the
think
horse.
she just like stares back, and because he has never lied to her, and she has no read on him really lying to her, she just is gonna have to believe it right now.
Okay. So Matthias is still, angry, looking to...
Yeah, seething. Gets back on the horse and puts the pistol back in his holster.
Mhm.
There is no time to wait. We've wasted enough time here already on dead leads.
Alero comes up. What did I miss?
A gunshot.
Again!
So you
Well,
just
she
will go
expected a
to-
gunshot at some point, like there's a guy over there and they're talking to him. It's like, so she expected a gunshot, but,
Idris will go over to Alero and give like a brief rundown of what we were told. But she'll add, Matthias is pushing Rat too far. I've never known him to crave the death of someone before.
Well,
Kill of someone.
I can speak from experience recent. The pain is hard when you lose a companion that you love, who has always been there for you. I feel his anger, and I too want to exercise that anger. But why would Matthias shoot a man like that? Surely we could have gleaned more information.
I agree. Could have known where he had seen the woman before. It was at the comment of the man having the likeness in his eyes. I've never known Matthias to react so quickly with anger. He is precise.
And what did he say? Did you ask him?
He said he didn't know.
Alero's known Matthias a long time. He always knows.
yeah, like Alero, like arcs an eyebrow, like.
Interesting.
I think like if she sees Alero arc that eyebrow, like that's you're just kidding herself about Matthias lying to her. Like that's just gonna start eating away. Like she knows she's not gonna be able to like trick herself into believing Matthias wasn't gonna lie.
Mistrust has riven the party. You guys need a priestess of Verena to help you all sort out the truth.
We need a fucking vacation.
I want to go back to the Emperor Leopold and drink vodka and play terrible games.
Remember when I stole the gingerbread?
Oh.
Oh, the heady days.
Remember when my
alive.
dog was alive?
But yeah, Matthias is like grimly turns and is riding ahead of the party with probably great speed back to Captain Sigmund.
I think
Yeah.
Nora helps up Rat and sort of steadies him and pats him on the shoulder, and now thinks she probably won't stray too far from him after that.
Idris, upon returning to where Nora and Rat are, will provide the tinder and the very last of that really strong alcohol so that Rat can torch this dude's body.
Okay.
I'd just
Big
pull his
torch
face and
full.
put it in the. I'd put his like whole head just in one of the charcoal pits.
Yeah, like they're just these big mounds that you can walk up, and there's like a chimney in the middle,
Okay.
and it's they're still sort of smoldering down. There's a fire somewhere in that mound, so you just like stuff the body down in there.
If he
All
looks
right.
like he needs help in achieving that, then Idris will help. If he
Yeah.
doesn't, then she'll just leave him to it.
No regard for the dead, just discarded because it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
There's no other sign of, if we quickly glance in these huts, there's no other sign of anything else. No antlers or weird chaotic symbols anywhere.
There's like antlers on the wall, is like just decorative, sort of. One of them.
Yeah, not
Killed.
headdresses and yeah.
Nothing like that. Yeah. No.
No,
This is just a group of charcoal burners just living in the woods, burning wood.
Yeah, then Rat would get back on the horse and ride.
You ride out of the woods, past the fields of Obelheim, and easily follow the troop of road wardens as they make their way to Horno. You catch up with them later that day. Now, the journey from Obelheim to Horno is about the same as from Boughs to Obelheim, so it takes about half of a day to get there. You catch up with the troop before they get to Horno, but towards the end of the journey. And Captain Sigmund is, at the head with the rest of his officers.
Matthias is silent.
Captain knows better than to ask questions. How about everybody else?
Nora is moving silently, just looking at each party member as she goes, just to see anything.
Okay. And Yidris and Alero?
Idris, as she kind of rides out of this space, will take her flail and she just wants to bat the crap out of one of those tokens hanging in the tree.
Okay.
Just knock it down and catch up.
Smash it. All right. So you guys have emerged from the woods, perhaps knowing a bit more about your enemy, but also at each other's throats at the time being, and make your way along with the rest of the troop of road wardens onto Horno. Now, Horno is a much poorer village than either Obelheim or Boughs. Obelheim and Boughs are close to the main road, sort of relatively easily accessible, but Horno is in the deep woods, and it's sort of a clearing. You can't really see the village before you get there, not like Boughs and Obelheim where it sits on a hilltop all nice and picturesque. You really sort of turn a corner in the road, and there's a clearing in front of you with a small village. Like the others, there's a palisade wall around it that sort of separates it from the rest. And it has 3 gates, one on the west, which you enter through, and then both north and south exits. It doesn't seem to be as populated as Boughs was, or as Obelheim was, although for that one half day that you were in Obelheim before the attack, it did seem partially abandoned. Horno just seems like a small rural village in the Empire. The people here farming little clearings out in the woods, or hunting, or burning charcoal to make their way here. And as the party rides in, you easily, the however many of 52 of you that there are, easily double the population of the village as you ride in. There's no way that they have the space to house all of you. And and put you up. In fact, the road wardens begin making camp outside the village as you arrive. That's sort of what the first ones begin to do.
Yeah,
how
Alera
about
will
the
actually
party?
stay outside there so that her
Okay.
unicorn will not cause a stir.
Gotcha.
Matthias had spoken previously about wishing to like raise levy troops from Horno, so like any men and women that could fight, but he is in no mood to do so. So he will go and make camp and retreat into a tent.
Okay. So Alero and Matthias are staying with the road wardens and making camp. How about everyone else?
Rat will say to Yidris,
We should probably make ourselves known to the town. Makes people nervous, witch hunters and a large amount of men camped outside. They deserve to know what's going on.
I'll come with you. She's like clearly not in the mood for like talking and being nice to people, but she'll go with Rat to do.
I think Nora will do the same, but not necessarily with them. Just wander around herself. I think she wants to see how people react to her being a dwarf and witch hunter at the same time.
kind of on the ride, Rat will speak to both of them.
I think I made a mistake. I let things boil over and I don't think he's ever going to forgive me.
Nora just pats his shoulder. He's like, doesn't really say anything, but she feels she'll probably talk about it again in the future, but is trying to let everything calm down first.
Sometimes it's better not to seek forgiveness, Rat. Only to do better. And she's just like stewing so hard right now.
The Rat turns, yeah, but you would never strike Matthias. How is he going to forgive me? I've made a mistake.
and he just goes back to solemnly riding.
Yeah.
And after Lero puts away Nisa, she will go to Matthias's tent and slowly just like part the entrance and call to him
he's in there
softly.
and he's just reading his like holy books of Sigma.
Matthias, you have been very quiet since the man.
He looks up. Yes.
You came to blows with a friend. What could cause you to do this? I've known you a long time. I've never seen this level of anger from you.
I am afraid. Valero.
You afraid? What do you fear? I did not know it was in you.
Myself. My past. I had a brother. One touched by Heresy.
Yes.
I never put him down. I did my parents. I know not what his fate was.
And what? He still lives?
For all I know.
I'm sorry for that. You know what happened to me. what I did. And I put down my sister. My sweet sister, Sophia. But did the man say something about your brother? Did he? Do you think he said that they had your eyes? Do you think your brother is here? Is with them?
I hear this, yes. That the shadow haunts me. As it always has.
I don't know the words to comfort you, Matthias.
There are none.
But at least take solace in knowing that I am always watching over you. As you have me all these years. And she'll just extend a hand and lightly touch his shoulder.
He flinches at the touch.
And then she slowly withdraws it.
I must read.
Of course.
Godly texts again. I'm meaning in them.
Of course.
And Alera will quietly exit the tent.
And Friggin Zero donates for a Cyclops to aid the party. Ooh. Or maybe someone just with one eye.
I think there was later that day, the second detachment of the Road Wardens shows up, and at their head, the one-eyed ogre with a giant just hammer that he carries. Now, of course, ogres are a normal part of the Empire. They are as much part of the Empire as dwarves and elves and halflings. Maybe a bit dim-witted, but the Road Wardens have decided to bring their quite massive, and one hand sort of a spiked fist, and the other hand an armor, or a warhammer, and they come up the road as night falls over Horno. We've got Nora and Rat and Yidris about to enter the town, perhaps to see what they can find out before staying the night. Alero and Matthias sharing a moment of honesty and perhaps some compassion. And the big one-eyed creature comes and makes a salute to Captain Sigmund. And I think we might need to call it here, yeah? Almost time for our next game.
Oh my god, what an episode. Holy shit. Whew. That bomb drop. Jeez. Well, my friends, that's where we're going to have to end tonight's episode of Warhammer Beneath Dark Boughs, because we've got another game coming up here in a few moments' time. So stick around for our third game of the day. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit the follow button and join us. Holy shit. There were a lot of ups and a lot of downs in that one.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of revelations. So I can't wait for next Wednesday for picking up the rest of the story. Let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Jim Davis, what did you think of the episode?
I mean, you guys are really... you guys are in the driver's seat on this one, so I like when we sit down to play that it's like I'm not really sure where this is going to go. The rift between Rat and Matthias is very was very powerful. Really like seeing that. So I'm having a great time with it. Just rolling with the all the curveballs chat throws, as well as you guys and your awesome characters and playing. So I'm happy to spend the birthday with you, man. Happy birthday, Will. It's been great spending the first half with you, and Godspeed and endurance as you make it on through the rest of the birthday batch.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks so much, Jim. It's been a pleasure, as always, despite all of the horrors. Love the horror. Pruitt, same questions, dude.
Holy crap, man, that was a great one. Oh my god. I love the Rat Matthias dynamic it's just so much fun to watch. Like from last episode to this episode couldn't be further from anyway, it's amazing. I love you both. Happy birthday. I'm Pruitt from WebDM, the other half, alongside this beautiful bastard over here. Jim Davis. You can find me Tuesday nights. I run my game Starward Bound. Wednesday, I'm with you, Will, for 9 hours, 6 hours here, and then Saber Dice over on YouTube, closing it out. Jim's got his game on WebDM's Twitch also. Sunday, 1 o'clock Central. Come over to WebDM Twitch for RPGN. Maybe some of these moments will be on next week's show, but who knows? And tomorrow morning, I'll be on Scraticus's channel doing a bit of a prison break. I went ahead and finally made a Tabaxi monk, named Monk after my cat Monk. So I can't wait to finally play this. By the way, I'll be able to move 300 feet in one round. So there's that.
Disgusting.
So anyway, happy birthday and have a good one, Will.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thanks so much, Pruitt. And Charlie.
I am just so physically drained right now from the emotional journey I have been on. Just Rat was the goodness, and he has been so ripped apart. But also I am loving his new dark turn, and love how the party is really developing their relationships, and yeah, it's only going to get better from here, right, guys? I can't wait till Wednesday. I will be around on the internet doing lots of D&D games next week. I think the first one will be Tuesday over on Scraticus's channel. So yeah, I'll post on Twitter the details for that.
Great stuff, great stuff. And Gareth, you still there?
I am still here. I'm not sure what's going on.
We've got Alice back. I said
Okay,
no
go.
green light, and yeah, people joined in on green light. Alice, same question to you.
Hi, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, that was an awesome session. I really love the dynamic between everyone in the group. I think there's a good, just great relationships, good or bad, forming, and they're really interesting to see how they play out. I am White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. When I'm not playing Warhammer over here, I am either DMing or playing on Scraticus's channel. But yeah, now I'm sort of even more hyped for next week if I could get any more hyped. So yeah, can't wait.
Great stuff. And last but not least, Gareth.
I'm absolutely exhausted after that. I don't know how you're going to do another 2 sessions. That was a gamut of emotions. It's weird you being my father figure, and we're going through the range of emotions it is in growing up. We've had the teaching, the learning, now the crackback, and I'm sure we'll get together and bond. But yeah, honestly, I'm exhausted. These guys are all also amazing, but Will, I appreciate the fuck out of you. You work incredibly hard at everything you do. You let us tell these stories and hang out and meet these crazy, incredible people, and I appreciate it. So another year of it, another year to you, and thank you so much for everything you've done for me and everyone and the role-playing community in general. Because you're a boss.
Well,
even if you are massively up your own arse, you fucking sex.
There it is.
I'm the best. You heard it here first, folks. Confirmed that I am indeed the single greatest thing to ever happen to Dungeons and Dragons. You're welcome.
I'm Warhammer now.
Yeah, and Warhammer. Yeah, you're welcome, people. Thank you guys, it's been fucking awesome. We've got another game coming in just a few seconds here. So some Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition one-shot led by Scraticus. So join us for that. Until next time, my friends, try not to roll too many now-ons. We want to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.